Hello, friends, and welcome to the 8th episode of Dulcius Ex Asperis. For anyone who's new to this channel, I'll go over some good news, some not so good news, and then give you some ideas for good deeds this week. I'm doing my best to be ready when tomorrow comes. Today we'll cover a heartwarming story about a father and son, a countdown to a manufactured crisis, and some questionable defamation lawsuits. Remember, there's always a song lyric hidden in the intro somewhere, and you can find the playlist on my channel. If you're watching and feel like sharing, I'd love to know what you found useful or not useful so far. I love this story of a father and son, because stories like this don't always have happy endings. But in this case, a father who always loved his son learned how to accept his son as a gay man, and even better, this father learned there was space in his faith for the queer community. And in not so good news, TikTok briefly went dark a couple weeks ago and claimed Trump as their savior. But here's what actually happened. Trump tried to ban TikTok in 2020, citing national security concerns. Once Trump had created the appearance of a problem, no one wanted to seem weak on national security. So in March and April 2024, Republicans and Democrats passed a bill with broad bipartisan support that required TikTok be sold, or the app would be banned in the United States. Let me reiterate here, Republicans and Democrats did this. But in January 2025, the government caught a case of buyer's remorse when they realized how unpopular the policy was. The Biden administration went looking for ways to save TikTok. But TikTok knew they couldn't give Biden any credit. They wanted Trump on their side. How do we know this? The Associated Press reported that Biden announced he would not enforce the TikTok ban. Also, the law didn't require that TikTok shut down. The law banned the app itself. The law required Google and Apple remove it from their app stores. TikTok could have kept operating for the people who already installed the app or who access the service via the website. TikTok chose to go dark anyway. After only 12 hours, they came back online with a message specifically thanking Trump for saving the app. This was before Trump was even president, or had signed the executive order saying he wouldn't enforce the ban either. It's no coincidence that TikTok also sponsored Trump's inauguration party. ByteDance, the company that owns TikTok, knows that the law hasn't changed. Trump is just choosing to delay enforcing it. That means what Trump wants means a lot at TikTok right now, which is troubling considering that TikTok is a very popular social media platform. Last episode we talked about Facebook, which recently changed their moderation policies to be closer to what Trump wants. Remember when I said your social media feeds were about to get less reliable? Let's look at who the president kept close to him at his inauguration. You might be thinking that rich business people have always attended inaugurations. And this is true. But Trump used the seats typically reserved for family members or past presidents, for business leaders. In this line, we have the CEO in charge of Facebook, Threads, and Instagram, the guy in charge of Amazon and the Washington Post, the CEO of Google, and last but not least, the owner of Tesla and Twitter, aka X. The guy we talked about in a previous episode because of that Nazi salute incident. Businesses know how Trump operates, and they're adjusting. Trump has always threatened lawsuits in response to critical or unflattering attention in the media, but until recently he hasn't had much luck. Then there was the Stephanopoulos case last year where Disney just stopped fighting. Facebook agreed to settle a lawsuit for freezing Trump's accounts after January 6th. Does anyone remember that anymore? The day violent rioters attacked the Capitol, egged on by Trump after he lost the election. But I digress. We were talking about frivolous First Amendment lawsuits. Paramount is in discussions with Trump over supposedly deceptive editing of a Harris interview, an allegation that has little basis in fact, But all of these companies know the Trump administration has a lot of power over things like FCC licenses and allowing or blocking mergers. Whoa, all that is a lot. But I've made a promise to you that this isn't a channel all about doom and gloom. Here is this episode's advice from Finding Steady Ground. Spend some time sharing with others how you cope. Maybe it's art, or long walks, or volunteering, or puzzles, or having tea with a friend. Whatever it is, sharing your journey with someone else is a way to strengthen your community and someone else. My first idea for a good deed this week is to connect with a focused group and call or email your elected officials. I know this seems like a big ask, but if you connect to a group focused on a particular issue you care about, or focused on policies in your area, you can make a big difference. These groups will give you a sample script to follow. You can make adjustments to make it more you, but having a starting place really makes things easier. Most elected officials, good or bad, conservative or liberal, are looking at what will get them reelected. If you live in a conservative area, your voice still matters. It matters even more, actually, because your vote counts more at a local level than at a federal level. Let your elected officials know that supporting bad policies puts their job at risk. If you live in a liberal area, your voice still matters. Your elected officials are asking themselves just how much you want them to fight. But if you don't want to get involved in that sort of organization, consume your media carefully. It took me an hour or so to put together all those headlines about TikTok. With the blizzard of news coming out, even reliable outlets are having issues putting everything in context. In particular, watch out for stories that create fear of a group, like, say, transgender people or immigrants. Remember that crises can be manufactured. And most importantly, until we talk again, take care of each other.